And our next speaker is the example, the model of what it looks like when survivors become elected officials and lead from survivors' point of view. I am deeply honored to bring up here State's Attorney from Cook County, Kim Foxx. And let me tell you, as a former prosecutor myself, it is not easy to be in a position where you can see just how few survivors of crime and violence get help, just how little the criminal justice system has been able to do to support the vast majority of survivors of crime. And that's why Kim Foxx is such a remarkable leader, because she is a crime survivor first. She walks in that building and in her role with your perspective, your experience in her heart every single day. And it is changing that office, it's changing this state, and it's changing the entire country. Just one example of what survivor leadership does, one of the first things that she did when she became the state's attorney was say, crime survivors need information about what's happening in our government. She created an open justice data project, the first prosecutor's office in the nation to open up and say, this is all the data we have. This is everything our office is doing to empower you, to give you the information you need to know what you want from your local government. Is that remarkable leadership? Yes. So let's give a warm welcome to the one and only Kim Foxx.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am here today to support you, to see you, and to hear you. Thank you. To say that the most important thing for a crime survivor or survivor of crime is for us to make sure that we are not harmed again, and that no one else experiences that harm either. But I'm not only here to support you, I am here because I am you. I am a crime survivor. I was sexually assaulted as a child. I am here because I want more than anything to make sure that what happened to me does not happen again to me or to any of us. I'm honored to be here, and it fills me with hope to see the diversity of the survivors who are here today. Look around. These survivors reflect the diversity of our state and voices that have often not been brought to the table on policy discussions. I say this as someone who comes from public housing and knows that the wealth of information and insight that we bring to these discussions have often been left behind. Our communities are stronger, our policies are stronger when survivors of that diversity are at the table leading the conversation about what they need and not being told what they deserve. Sometimes people ask me, Kim, how could you be both a passionate advocate for crime survivors and a passionate advocate for criminal justice reform? Isn't that a contradiction? For those of us who are here today, though, for those of us who are here, we know the truth. We know the truth. Our ability to create a safer Illinois for everyone requires a transformation of the way we spend our resources. That's just a fact. And how we think about the cycles of crime and violence. We have to be thoughtful about the cycles. Rather than focusing solely on incarceration, we need more accountability. Rather than building more prisons, we need more focus on prevention and rehabilitation. We know that people who commit harm and those who are harmed live in the same communities. They live in the same families. And the sad reality is sometimes they have the same bodies. And we know that when we address trauma, that we must address trauma. When we focus on prevention and rehabilitation, and when we provide the tools of opportunities for people to make themselves and their communities stronger, that is when, and that is how, we make Illinois safer for all of us. It has been an honor and a privilege for me to work in this role and to work with such dynamic leaders like Leader Gordon Booth and Attorney General Raoul. But for many of you here in this room today, I have met you and have been profoundly changed by your stories of survival. I have been profoundly changed by your ability to take some of the worst harm that could ever come for you and you to get up every day and show up in the world and advocate for communities like yours. It is a difficult job. The challenges are deep. The wounds are heavy. And yet you realize that the safety for all of us recognizes that you must bring those wounds to bear and that you must come to places like this rotunda, that you must meet with leadership and tell them what you need. You must say that you will not be ignored in the names of those who you love and represent. And you recognize that this work, however painful and however challenging and however deeply personal it is to you, is necessary for your voices to be at the forefront. I am a survivor, and I'm an elected official. And sometimes the tension between the two of those are strong. And sometimes the urge to do the easiest or most politic thing will take over those who have to make tough choices. I'm inspired not by those who make tough choices from purchase of privilege. I'm inspired by those of you who make that tough choice every day to honor your loved one. I thank you for what you are doing here in Illinois, the pilot program for the trauma recovery centers that we have with the vision to have more. That is because of your leadership. And as a humble servant to all of you and your mission to create a safer Illinois for all of us, to make sure that your needs are met, and to make sure that we have policies that don't do more harm, but do more heal, I appreciate your love, your support for each other, and for our state. Thank you very, very much.
Who speaks?